Narcissists are haters. Simply put, they are haters. They hate what they do not have. And this deep-seated hatred manifests itself as envy, which essentially is jealousy metastasized. It is jealousy that they have been harboring for years upon years unto the point where it becomes envy. So understand that the friend that was posing as a friend really is a wolf in sheep's clothing. They envy you. Or the intimate partner that posed as a lover really is your enemy because they envy you. People that envy you do not love you. They actually are obsessed with you. And obsession is not love. And this is why narcissists are so controlling. It is not love that they have for you. It is obsession. They really are sitting there wondering how you did not break. They truly do not understand that you were able to bend in the wind. You see, narcissists are the tree or the trees that could not withstand the storm, and they snapped. They lost their mind. So they really are wondering, how is it that you did not lose your mind with all the torment, the abandonment, the neglect, and the abuse that you went through? Narcissists are people that have lost their light. Their lights are very dim. This is why you hear me refer to them as dark souls or lost souls. They have lost their light. Their spirits have shriveled up. They have given up on life. So they're wondering why you have not given up. They do not understand how you became a survivor and a thriver. And this is why they try to drag you down to their level. You see, everything is about energy. And when you understand that pathological narcissists are people that are rooted in their shame and they're unable to move past their pride, you really understand why they behave how they behave. These are individuals that did not develop past their lower ego. They did not individuate. They did not become an individual. They failed the individuation process. And individuation essentially is the process of becoming an adult. You're becoming an unique individual, but they failed this process. Because at their core, you will see where pathological narcissists really are somewhere between the ages of about 5 and 12 years old. They did not grow up. They are Peter Pans. They are unripened fruit. Someone that is based in shame, based in pathological shame, means that they have little to no self-esteem. Their self-esteem is so low that they would probably have to look up to see it. It is minimal, negligible, barely even there. And this is why they adopted a false self. They abandoned their true self for a false self. They do not believe in themselves. They believe that they are the mask. They are pretenders. So when you come in with your authenticity, with your genuineness, with your light, they despise it because they know that they are fake. They know that they are inauthentic. They know that they are pretenders and mimickers. They know this. And this is why they hate your authenticity, because they are inauthentic individuals. They know that they are wearing a mask, And not only are they wearing a mask, they have to wear different masks depending on who they go around. Pathological narcissists are the Anna Delveys of the world. Today, they're Wonder Woman, tomorrow they're Thor, and the next day they are Spider-Man. They pretend to be different people depending on who they are around. They do not have a stable base. They do not have a true personality. They did not develop one. What they developed were multiple false selves. So if they are around 100 different people, then they will try to mimic 100 different people. That is the personality disorder. In the love bomb phase, or the idealization phase of the narcissistic abuse cycle, the pathological narcissist mirrored you. So if you were into sports, well, the narcissist is into sports, and they're going to be into the type of sports that you are into, because again, they are mirroring you. If you like R&B music, hey, the narcissist likes R&B music. They are mirroring you. They do not have an authentic self. They mirror others. And they do this so that you validate their false self, so that you validate the false mask, so that you boost their ego. Because again, the ego is the false self, because they did not develop a true self. Again, they have very little self-esteem. Hence, they have to get other esteem. And this esteem has to come from other people, because they cannot generate this light from within. And this is the predicament that the narcissist is in. They have resorted to being parasites, leeches, ticks, and mosquitoes of a human being. They have to feed on others. And people understand that every day an eagle wakes up, and the eagle knows that it has to go out and hunt to get its food, because eagles are hunters. Similarly, every day a vulture wakes up, and the vulture knows that it has to scavenge to eat, because what vultures eat are the decomposing matter of animals. It is when the animal is there rotting and putrid is when the vulture comes in, because that is what vultures, who are scavengers, are designed for. And similarly, every day a mosquito wakes up, and the mosquito knows that it must find a host. Just like pathological narcissists, they need other esteem. They have to feed, just like zombies. And a zombie's belly can never be full, because they rely on others. They rely on hosts. They rely on other supplies, because they cannot supply themselves. They need narcissistic supply. And what is narcissistic supply? It is the attention, energy, validation, and reflection of other people. Again, other esteem. And they do not have self-esteem, again, because they abandoned themselves in childhood. They dissociated in childhood. They did not love themselves. So they adopted a false self. And understand that you need a self to have self-esteem. See, narcissists don't have a self. Whoever you thought you met at the beginning of the narcissistic relationship does not exist. I want to make it abundantly clear to you that you were interacting with a mask, and they were mirroring you from day zero. You were deceived from day zero, not halfway into the relationship or at the end. This was at day zero, the love bomb. or the idealization phase, because that is the first phase in the narcissistic abusive cycle. It is an abuse cycle. You thought you were in a mutually beneficial relationship. You were in a abuse cycle. Parasites and hosts are not in mutually beneficial relationships. Parasites feed on hosts. Zombies eat people. It is a parasitic relationship. However, they will mimic you into believing that you are dealing with your equal, but again, you were deceived on day 0. Understand that the true spirit of the pathological narcissist is what you saw in the devalue and the discard. The mask is what you were seeing in the Hoover and the love bomb when they were pretending to be you. Let me say that again. The true spirit, the true cold, apathetic, hateful spirit is what you saw in the devalue and the discard. The mask is what you're interacting with in the love bomb and the Hoover. Narcissists are Chucky. They are pretenders. And they pretend to be a good guy doll. But if you know anything about Chucky, you understand that Chucky is operated by the spirit of a serial killer, an evil spirit. That is what you are interacting with from day 0. They were mimicking you. They were pretending to be like you. However, they are the opposite of you. And this is why when the mask slips, it is an unforgettable experience. It is kind of like that Tamia song, "There is a stranger in my house." It took some time to figure out. When the mask drops, you see the true individual that you're actually dealing with, that cold, reptilian, humanoid-like individual. That is the true spirit, not the mask. They put on different masks again, depending on who they go around. The narcissist comes around me and I like R&B music. Well, the narcissist likes R&B music. If they go around you and you like jazz music, then the narcissist likes jazz music. They are mimickers. They are chameleons. And this is what they do. They are con artists, con men, con women. And they go around duping individuals to get into relationships. The Anna Delveys of the world. Understand that narcissists hate your light. They hate your authenticity. They hate your confidence. They hate your smile. Because deep down, they are very miserable people. They do not have any happiness within. They are filled with darkness. They are based in shame and they're unable to move past their pride. So what you're looking at here is someone that is steeped in negative emotions. It is a common misconception that narcissists do not have emotions. They do have emotions. They have a vast variety of negative emotions. And understand that when I use the Hawkins scale here by Dr. David R. Hawkins, this isn't all emotions that exist. However, understand that negative emotions are at the bottom of the scale, and as you head towards the top of the scale, then you experience more positive emotions. Narcissists only have access to negative emotions, and they are all between shame and pride. Unforgiveness, ungratefulness, despise, etc. All of those are at the bottom of the scale. That is what the narcissist has access to. They did not develop past their lower ego. They are filled with shame. Low self-esteem again. Shame is an emotion that is directed at the self. The shame that they have is pathologically low self-esteem. So understand that pathological narcissists do not love themselves. which also means that they are unable to love you. Because when we're talking about love and those high vibration emotions, then we're in the levels of 500. And pathological narcissism exists below the line of 200. Again, they cannot get to courage. They're based in shame and they're unable to move past their pride. And understand that the pathologically low self-esteem that we're talking about here, think about this as if there is a thorn that is stuck in the middle of the narcissist's back. And this thorn has been there since their childhood years. And because of this thorn in the middle of their back, they themselves are unable to reach it. Because again, it's deep in the middle of their back. So because you have higher awareness, you have love, you have empathy, you have compassion, you see that they are in pain. So you want to help them. You want to reach out and pull that thorn out. You want to help them. However, understand this. Pathological narcissists have been in so much pain for such a long time that they have accepted the thorn that is in the middle of their back. They do not want you to help them and irritate the pain because they believe that it is going to cause them more pain. So they accept the thorn that is in the middle of their back. They accept the pathological shame. They accept the pathologically low self-esteem. They believe that they are unworthy of love. You cannot love a narcissist and a narcissist cannot love you back. They do not have the capacity to receive your love. All of your love and kindness and compassion is going to evaporate right there at the third dimension, right there at the line of pride. Narcissists do not want your love. They want your subservience. They want to control you. They want you to be their little slave, their little minion. They want to keep their foot on your neck. They do not want your empathy. They do not want your love. There are people that are in relationships with pathological narcissists for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, etc., giving them love. They do not want your love. They want your subservience. They want to be in control of you. So understand that you're dealing with someone that is not self-reflecting, because to self-reflect, you need a self. They don't have a self. They abandoned the self in childhood. The captain abandoned the ship. The driver is in the back seat. The lights are on, but nobody's home with pathological narcissists. You cannot know them. They don't exist. They were wearing a mask on day 0. Not day 1, day 0, the second you met them. You need a self to self-reflect. You need a self to have self-esteem. You need a self. They do not have a self. They did not develop a self. They did not develop a true self. They developed a false self. They believe that they are the mask. And this is why, if you do not validate their mask, they get a narcissistic injury. And what is a narcissistic injury? A narcissistic injury is when a pathological narcissist perceives a threat, whether real or imagined, that goes against their grandiose false self, that goes against their ego. So understand that Jim Carrey, that plays Stanley Ipkiss in The Mask, where he wears that green mask, understand that Stanley Ipkiss believes that he is the mask. He does not want to take it off. Stanley now believes that the mask is his true identity. You have been interacting with a mask. It is a false self. They are underdeveloped souls. They are not self-reflecting. They believe that they are perfect. They need you to validate the mask. And if you do not validate the mask, they get upset with you. That is what you're dealing with a pathological narcissist. And with this, it becomes much easier to forgive yourself, because you truly understand that you're dealing with a very unstable, insane person. Because narcissistic abuse is a cycle, after all.